A Viking cruise ship is back in Duluth for the first time this season. It anchored in the harbor behind the deck bright and early this morning. Northern News Now's Cara Kopp caught up with cruisers and city leaders to hear how these hundreds of visitors are impacting our city for a third straight year.
From the top of Lake Superior to the bottom of Lake Michigan, the Viking Octantis cruise has proved to be an adventure for Jim and Karen Kendig.
We actually sailed all the Great Lakes, and we'd never done that before.
The Pennsylvania couple experiencing another first as they stopped in Duluth, ending their cruise in the city.
As soon as we got past Detroit, everything was brand new to us. So it was learning and discovery the whole way, and that's one of the really interesting things that we like to do when we're traveling.
It's stories from cruisers like the Kendigs that deck leaders say highlight the positive impacts the Viking expedition has on the city.
All of these passengers get to debark, and they're right into a visitor center part of the city here in Canal Park and downtown, and they're not far from Lincoln Park.
Bringing people from all over the world to experience Duluth, and sometimes for the first time. That experience supporting the local economy since the cruise started arriving in the harbor 3 years ago, becoming a source of tourism that can be relied on, especially after the warm winter season.
We did see a huge increase in 2022 and 2023, so a little bit of a slower start earlier this year with the weather not necessarily cooperating with what we might like to see for those winter visitors.
Cruisers like the Kendigs loving the new sights and sounds the cruise brought them, but loving the people even more.
So
the
really
people here
of
have been so welcoming and so giving.
In Duluth, Cara Kopp, Northern News Now.
Along with the Viking Octantis, 2 other Viking ships are going to be making routine visits to Duluth this summer. They're going to have to keep anchoring in the harbor and shuttling passengers to shore since seawall construction is ongoing. Now, that should all wrap up by the end of the summer, allowing the cruise ships to dock at the deck next year.